right, let's hit the field.
All rise.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
It is Friday, October 18th, and it was Game 4 of the American League Championship Series in Cleveland. Luis Gil was on the mound, and he was making his playoff debut as the Yankees try and shake off one of the worst losses in franchise history. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Welcome to the New York City.
Pinstripe Territory.
Just when they thought I was out,
They pull me back in.
Wow, dude. Wild. Dude, I have aged 30 years in the last 2 nights. You ever see those pictures of Lincoln before and after the Civil War? That's me right now.
Yeah. Every president. Barack Obama, same thing. I'll read you a text from my dad. I feel older. That game aged me. It's like just about, I think every Yankee fan felt that way.
That game almost killed me, bro. Another absolutely wild game. This is turning out to be an all-time playoff series. The Yankees really should have swept. If we're being honest with each other, the Yankees should have swept. They should be celebrating in the clubhouse right now, if not for last night. But another night tonight where Emmanuel Clase, the guy who you wanted the Yankees to get all season, you probably are the biggest promoter of Emmanuel Clase that I've ever heard. And that was before this amazing season he had. And he has proven the last 2 nights to be mortal. Yankees have his number. TK, how you feeling after that game?
Oh my God. I didn't even get the chance to come on last night because that game was just unbelievable. I have thoughts about that game, but we're going to digest this game. With Emmanuel Clase, I don't know if it's the Yankees have his number or he's poor in the postseason or he doesn't pitch well in colder weather because he's like a Latin guy. Sometimes those Latin pitchers who are so used to pitching in the heat down in the islands are not as comfortable pitching in the cold. I don't know what it is with him. I still think he's unbelievable. I mean, the guy throws 99-mile-an-hour cutters, and go look at his season. But yeah, in the playoffs, man, what was that quote Austin Hedges had? He's better than Mariano. That's aged pretty poorly.
Yeah.
The difference with him is Mariano did it in the playoffs, man. He was better in the playoffs. So I don't know what it is. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it could just be not a great feel for the cutter. It could be that the Yankees have Mariano Rivera secretly throwing them batting practice cutters in the tunnel before the game. I don't know, man. I was in a dark and a brooding mood all day long after last night's game. Ask anybody I interacted with. Ask Erik Kratz. He was sending me gifs of hug loading, like a little GIF or whatever, because he could tell I was in a poor mood. But I was sleep deprived or whatever. But everything, I had 2 middle fingers on each hand. But then Juan Soto connected for a 2-run home run, and that dramatically altered my mood. And it got even better when Giancarlo Stanton hit that 3-run home run off of Cade Smith. I think it's time, and we've been putting respect on Giancarlo's name this postseason. I think it's time that even the casual fans who dislike Giancarlo recognize that he is now becoming a postseason legend for the Yankees. Not a postseason performer, not, great, postseason this year or a couple of good years. This is about the 3rd or 4th time he's had a big postseason for the Yankees.
Yeah, 100%. Go look at his postseason stats. I think his OPS is around 1,000. He's time in and time out just come up clutch every postseason, even in the weird one in San Diego during COVID when there were no fans. Talk about like a wasted electric home run there. But, I mean, the guy's unbelievable. Look, during the regular season, he's frustrating. Like, let's call it as it is. Sometimes he's nuclear Stanton. Sometimes he looks lost. He can't run anymore. He's a one-dimensional player. He can basically only DH. He's slow. He gets hurt. He's made of glass. Appreciate all that. He makes a lot of money. Appreciate all that. But this is a big guy who comes clutch in October, year in and year out, and there is an enormous amount of value into that. Honestly, it makes him tradable. It does. Like, if you wanted to go down that road because you felt like maybe you wanted to restructure the team a little bit in the offseason. But, I mean, dude, he's been huge. Every year he comes up. He's just a guy, I think, that really likes the big moment. and it doesn't faze him. And it's funny too because he was coming from Miami. You didn't really know he had that gene before he was a Yankee because the Marlins weren't really playing in any big games like that.
Yeah. The biggest heart attack for me tonight, as we talk about heart attacks, it wasn't even Clay Holmes and his awful inning. It was the cameraman on that Noel fly out to the warning track where he was panning it through the sky. I thought that fucking thing was going in the river, and then it gets caught on the warning track. My heart was like there was zero oxygen getting to my brain for 2 minutes. We had, Clay Holmes was terrible. Tim Hill, I thought, was terrific. I thought they should have left him in another inning. Jake Cousins was, he was okay the first inning. He struggled. They left him in, I think, a little bit too long. I don't think that Boone has managed the bullpen as well as he could have in this series. He used Weaver in game 2 when you probably didn't need to. And that, means he got kind of worn down. He didn't pitch tonight. I wonder if he'll be available tomorrow. You would think he would have to be for a closeout of the series. You got Carlos Rodon on the mound. We'll talk about that. Umpires tonight were trash for both teams. Tommy Kahnle got a gift in the 9th inning. An absolute gift in the 9th inning. Take over for a minute, dude. I need to catch my breath.
I saw heart palpitations. That game aged me, man. I was losing hair and stuff. I almost gonna shave my head like Derek did. But dude,
I won't need to after tonight. I'm just gonna be naturally bald. It all fell out.
There you go. But yeah, the Noel fly out, like you said, I was like, oh my God, really? Because like you said, I thought that thing was gonna hit the scoreboard, and even the foul ball that he hit in the 9th inning, I was like, who is this guy? Just came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's he's got Jobu in his locker room from Major League or something like that. But yeah, unbelievable game, unbelievable series so far. And yes, the Yankees should have swept, but I haven't had an enormous problem with the way Boone has managed so far this postseason, but I have 2 enormous problems with what he's done up to this point. So like you said, in game 2, he threw Weaver instead of Hamilton with a 4-run lead. I texted you. I was like, I would have gone Hamilton. No need to go Weaver there, especially with the travel day. You would have given game 2 off plus the travel day. That would have been 2 nights off. He could have came in. And I think that probably maybe a little burned him a little bit last night, and that's maybe why he gave up the home run. You kind of rode him a little bit too much, but I would have done that. And then also starting, what was it, Birdie over Rizzo last night because of the lefty. I'm sorry, Rizzo's got reverse splits. I didn't get that. And then the play where Hamilton strained his calf and now he's done for the rest of the postseason. I don't even think Hamilton gets hurt because Birdie bobbles the play. Rizzo probably makes that play. Hamilton's not hustling over there, and then you save yourself an arm. So those are the 2 big problems I've had with Boone so far. But other than that, I can't complain too much. You got a 3-1 lead in the ALCS. Yeah. We're on the verge of going to the World Series, but those are just the 2 big problems I've had so far.
Let's talk a little bit about Luis Gil, who made his postseason debut today. Gave up a run in the first inning, leadoff walk, followed by a double. But second and third, nobody out. You have to consider it kind of a victory that he pitched out of that, only allowing 1 run. Followed up with a scoreless second. Third inning, it looked like he got rattled a bit. Big 2-out RBI single from Josh Naylor, who looks like he's eating very, very well in Cleveland. We got a epic battle with Daniel Schneemann that ended with a strikeout. Fourth inning started to look more like the guy we saw all season, 1, 2, 3 inning. I thought they could have probably run him out there for 1 more inning and gone batter to batter and kind of saved this bullpen a little bit because it looked like he was hitting his stride, right? But now you got him fully rested and comfortable for Game 7. Should it go Game 7? Hopefully it won't. But if it goes Game 7, man, I'm gonna look like George Burns, bro.
Yeah. The only solace I take is that Game 6 and 7 are in the Bronx. But you really should wrap this series up tomorrow and get ready for the World Series. You have to. I'm going to just say this. I'm a bit of a fraud for saying this. I had an inclination Yankees in 5 when the series was starting. I was like, that's probably what it should be. Cleveland's a respectable team. They should be able to win 1 game.
Well, you said 6, right?
I think, 5 or 6. I didn't feel like it was going to be a sweep, but I didn't feel like it was going 7. And then the Mets just won. So I do think Dodgers in 6 there. I don't think they're going 7 either. Yeah. So you like to wrap the game up, get ready for the World Series, on to the next opponent. But you got to win the last game. Cleveland has proven that they don't want to go away. They're putting up a fight. I said that before. Don't underestimate this team. They've shown cracks, but they've shown a little bit of juju, a little bit of magic.
Right. Well, let me throw this at you. World Series wouldn't begin until next week, right? So let's say that Rodon gives you 5-6 innings tomorrow, and you got a 2-3 run lead. Do you go to Garrett Cole in relief? Do you go to Garrett Cole knowing that he would have to pitch a game 5? He's scheduled for game 5, and that would force you to throw like a Stroman or whatever. That would be a tough move to make. You know.
A lot of fucking balls.
You better win if you make that move.
Yeah, you better win. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the state of the MVP race. Obviously, Soto and Stanton both homered today. Soto's got a couple of home runs in the series. Stanton continues to just be. I mean, it has to be Stanton right now, right? I mean, that would. Yeah. I mean, the series isn't over yet. Let's say tomorrow goes, routine. I think Stanton wins it.
Yeah, I got to go with Stanton as well. He's just had every moment. But I would like to give a guy his flowers. Gleyber Torres has been absolutely huge.
Great.
Huge. Unsung hero, great leadoff guy. And look, the guy was basically get him out of town. He's awful. See ya. He was having a really rough first half of the regular season. And then obviously a lot of the lazy plays on the base pass in the field, a lot of errors, right? But then they switched him to leadoff, totally changed him as a player. He's been absolutely enormous for us, setting the table every inning. And then he had a huge hit tonight, too, to take the lead, man. I mean, can't give that guy his flowers enough. It almost makes me feel like if they lose Soto in free agent, maybe they will look into bringing back Gleyber. But if they bring back Soto, I just don't see it. They just don't have the payroll to do both players.
Yeah,
but
I agree with you.
Soto, maybe they'll look into it. But yeah, I probably lean Stanton for postseason MVP so far.
Maybe Gleyber takes a 1-year prove-it deal, right? Knowing that he could have a bigger year, knowing that he's going to hit leadoff all year. Maybe you re-up him at the same salary, a slight raise maybe even. I would have no problem with him coming back on a 1-year deal, honestly. Let's talk a little bit about Game 5, which is tomorrow before we go to the series breakdown, or game breakdown. But first of all, over 1,800 in the chat. That is a new record for Pinstripe Territory. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We are almost to 43,000, so go ahead and subscribe. Be a part of the community. We're here after every game. Carlos Rodon pitching tomorrow. How do you think that he will pitch in a elimination game? I mean, he has potential to be pumped up and dominate. He pitched really, really great in Game 1. I thought he controlled his emotions really well. Cleveland is not a team that hits a lot of home runs, which has been a problem for him. Like they hit some home runs yesterday. I get it. Knock on wood, they're not a home run hitting team for the most part. And I think if he can keep the ball in the ballpark, he should be okay tomorrow. He's going to be pumped up, dude. He's going to be throwing 98, 99 from the very beginning. How confident are you in him tomorrow? I'm feeling really good about him.
I feel good about it, but we've talked about this before. He's like, he said he's the Stanton of pitching. He's either awful or great, no in between. So I feel like that's where we're going to get tomorrow. He's either going to be awful or fantastic. And obviously we hope that he's going to be great, but I'm feeling more confident that he's going to be great. I think the key to him is, like you said, keep his emotions in check. He's a pretty animated guy when he's pitching. He's like screaming and stuff like that, which I love. I love that. But you got to keep your emotions in check until you get that third out of the inning to go back in the dugout, right? So
yeah,
I think he'll be fine. I think he'll pitch pretty well. Bat's got to mash, though. I think that's just going to be the key, right? If you score 10 runs, they're not winning. So, that's what you're going to hope for. But I think Rodon's going to have a good game. I'd like to see him go – I'd like to see him go 6 innings. That'd be really nice.
That would be sick. All right, let's get to the game breakdown here, the recap. So Gleyber Torres, we just got done talking about him. Leadoff base hit tonight. He has become pretty much automatic leading off the game this season, this postseason. Anyway, but really since he got moved into the leadoff spot, he's been really good. But in terms of getting hits to lead off the game, seems like every night he gets a base hit to lead off the game. Next batter was Juan Soto, and he tomahawked one into the right field seats. 2-run shot, immediately quieted down the crowd. And his price just keeps getting larger and larger, TK.
Yeah, at least $600 million, I think. I think also you got the other team in Queens on the verge of getting eliminated, and they're feeling like they're one step away. So they're they're sitting there in the dark like this right now, right? Because he's proven he's only he's going to be 26 this free agency, and he's already been the guy in the postseason. He won when he was like 20 with the Nationals, and he's proven that the moment doesn't scare him at all. And he's also proven he can do it in New York. He's like the perfect player for this market. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens after the season.
Guardians got one back in the second. Yankees were doing a lot of window shopping early on. Rizzo and Volpe both got caught looking. Austin Wells picked him up. Mustache ride over the right field wall. First home run for him this postseason. Dropped out of the cleanup spot. Had better swings the other night after the Judge home run, and that was a big swing for him. He's looking good. Gavin Williams was done after 2 1/3 innings. That's what we were saying yesterday on the postgame, that you got to get to him early, hit him in the mouth, make them go to that bullpen. That's what the Yankees did. And then, Vogt kind of went to the matchup game. He went to Sobrowski for a bit. Guardians got another run on a base hit from Naylor in the third. As I mentioned, Heel was done after 4, so the 2 combined starting pitchers tonight went less than 7 innings. Go ahead.
Now I got to get the sip of water in there. It was a stressful game. I get it. I'm with you, man.
I'm all fucked up now. Take it, man.
Yeah, he's got the pumpkins in the back, setting the mood blocked over. I love it. But yeah, man, that was just dude. I know you're gonna get to it, but the lighter play, the flip to Rizzo.
We'll get.
I almost jumped off the roof of my building, man. I'm so serious.
We'll get there. We're glad you're still with us. Tim Hill came in for the bottom of the 5th inning. Soto, excellent catch in right field off of the shot from David Fry. What did you think about him being nominated for a Golden Glove, man? I honestly thought it was kind of BS. I don't think he's that good right field, but that was a big catch.
Soto, phenomenal catch, great play. And I feel like he's made a lot of good plays, but I think it is a little bit of he's Juan Soto playing for the Yankees. And I think that right field, just because of the short porch, it's a little bit of an easier right field to play from other parks. But no, I don't think that he's a Gold Glove caliber. He's not going to win the Gold Glove, but just the fact that he's nominated, I was kind of like, really? And honestly, Lindor did get snubbed of the shortstop Gold Glove. I mean, what are we doing here? The guy's a phenomenal player. So, I mean, yeah, it was a bit odd.
We got FT in the chat saying, just want to make sure I'm still breathing, not wasted. I don't get wasted during the games. But my heart was barely made it through tonight. Cade Smith, top of the 6th inning, came in, one of the best relievers in the game. He walked Soto. Judge with a hard single. That was a big at bat for Judge. And then Nuclear Stanton.
Nice Stantonian blast.
Giancarlo Stanton hits it out.
Nuclear Stanton appearing nightly. 3-run shot off one of the best relief pitchers in the game. 105 off the bat, 405 feet. Pedestrian by Giancarlo's standards. He hit it off the end of the bat, I thought, a little bit. Didn't even have that sound, but the way he stood there, that he knew it was gone. Not a great pitch from Cade. Basically reminded me of my pitching career and why it ended early. Belt-high fastball. 3 words that I'm very familiar with. Belt-high fastball. Stanton now tied for 4th place all-time on the Yankees postseason home run list with Aaron Judge and Babe Ruth. Pay that man his money. Give him a 7-year extension, baby.
There you go. Pretty amazing the company that he's in, though, with the whole narrative with him. Talk about changing your narrative on a team, though, seriously.
Right. Mr. October 2, Electric Boogaloo. And then we got a shutdown inning from Jay Cousins in the 6th. Beautiful double play in the 7th from Orochio and Jimenez. I just wanted to mention that. That was one of the better defensive plays in the game. And in a game that was kind of sloppy, I mean, there were errors on both sides. Boone left Cousins in too long, I thought. He ran into trouble in the 7th. Yankees had to go to Clay Holmes, who doesn't seem like he has anything left right now. He seems like he is gassed. There's no sink on the sinker. The sweeper's just kind of floating in there. I think he needs a day off tomorrow. I think you got to give it to him, and then hopefully he'll get. If the Yankees win, he'll be off until the World Series begins, and he'll have a chance to freshen up. Right? That's the ideal situation. Is the Yankees win tomorrow, rest the bullpen, come back against either the Dodgers or the Mets next week with a fully locked and loaded bullpen. and having the ability to set their rotation however they want to set it. Ramirez got to him for a double. Naylor got to him for a 2-run double. Boone went to Mark Leiter Jr., and Noel hit that shot down the left field line that the cameraman, I swear to God, the cameraman needs to be put in Guantanamo Bay. That was the worst camera work in the history of professional sports. I almost had a heart attack. And that's going to be the theme of this episode. Almost had a heart attack. But probably a home run at Yankee Stadium. I haven't looked at the overlays yet, but it's 325 out there to that half wall, that big wall that the Guardians have out there, and it went right to the warning track. Bottom 8, they stuck with Leiter. Bo Naylor led off with a double. Surprised they didn't go to Tommy Kahnle earlier, but eventually, the Leiter got the huge out of Kwan, the pop out with a runner on third base and 1 out, made the pitch. And then he got Fry to hit that little squibber, and when he flipped it to Rizzo, it went right through his legs. And you're thinking at that point, oh my God, nothing is going right for us. They just came back from down 6-2 to tie the game. I felt honestly at that point we were going to lose the game.
I 100% am with you. I literally was like, we lost right there. I was like, this team is cursed. I'm never going to see this team win in my adult life. Guys, last time the Yankees went to the World Series and won the World Series, I was 9 years old in the 3rd grade in 2009. So I'm 24 now and I graduated college. So I'm kind of like, man, when is it going to happen? If not this year, when, man? And when that happened, I was like, oh my God, we're cursed. We're cursed. Because we would have gone from pretty much, we should have swept the series because of last night. Going from that scenario to 2-2, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Well, we really should have swept tonight, but we got the baseball gods even things out. So 9th inning, Rizzo with a big hit. He gets jammed by Clase and fights it off. That kind of gave me memories of the hit by Luis Gonzalez in 2001 and the World Series where he got fisted and just kind of blooped it out over shortstop. It was a lower angle, but same type of result. Volpe with a beautiful piece of hitting. He's actually had Clase's number this year. Remember, he hit that big triple, I think it was, off the right field wall earlier this year. He stole second base. Volpe, I'll tell you what, hitting a very quiet 320 with an 845 OPS in the postseason for the kid. And then the baseball gods even things out. Error by the shortstop, Orochio. Birdie comes in to score. Gleyber Torres with a huge line drive base hit to make it 8-6. And at that point, the pressure valve started to release a little bit. But I had a friend over watching the game with me, and I told him, I said, win probability. Like, the Yankees have a great win probability. The Guardians have the bottom of the order coming up. We got a 2-run lead. Got Tommy Kahnle coming in. I should be feeling a lot more at ease. But this Guardians team, they're just so pesky that I did not feel comfortable. They made it interesting, but Kahnle eventually got it done. Yankees win, and they take a 3-1 commanding series lead. And baby, they are 1 win away from the World Series.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
Win probability, schmobability. I mean, what was the win probability last night, man? Like, I hate that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the game has to be played out, but it's just showing like the mathematics of all the other games that have been in this situation and so forth. And anyway, we've got to hand out the belt for the night. If you're new, and we have over 2,150 people watching in the chat, that is a new record. We hand out a player of the game at the end of every Yankees win. It's the championship belt. And tonight, it's got to go to Big G, Giancarlo, hitting the G-spot.
Fully in agreement with that.
I mean, that was the big swing, right? I mean, that changed the game, that opened it up. Without that, the Yankees lose. So we talked at length about him earlier in the podcast. Just got to give the man a little official recognition. I'm starting to reconsider my Hall of Fame thought on him. Earlier this year when there was all that talk about whether or not he would be a Hall of Famer, it was like, no, probably not, unless he gets to 500, which he might not get to. But the way he's done in the postseason, you can't ignore that, right? I mean, there are guys who have done less in their careers than Giancarlo that had big postseasons that got in. And, I think about Kirby Puckett. Kirby Puckett was a good player, but Giancarlo has better numbers overall. And, you think about, I'm sure there's other guys that are slipping my mind, but Giancarlo really should get some consideration now just because of his postseason bona fides.
I mean, I just looked up his career stats. He's got a 44.7 WAR for his career, just a tick over 6,000 at-bats, 1,551 hits, 429 home runs, and a career 257 average. So he should get to 500 home runs, which is basically a lock for the Hall of Fame. So I think he could probably do that in the next 2-3 years. He's got, I think, 3 years left on his deal after this year. So I feel like he should be able to get there. Yeah, I think he's probably a Hall of Famer. Look, especially if they win the World Series this year, then yes, I would say he's a Hall of Fame player. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Final super chat of the night goes to Peter Van Usen. Says Stanton is worth every cent he gets paid. He keeps winning in playoff games. He gets them to a World Series. You're absolutely right. It's about time. I said a few episodes ago that before there was Soto and Judge, there was Stanton and Judge, right? Those were the two big boppers, and we've never really gotten to see them win together, and this feels like it could be the year. So a quick word from our sponsor tonight, HelloFresh, then we will be back with a couple of closing thoughts as we round out a big, big win for the New York. Are you looking to bring those autumn vibes into your kitchen? Have you tried HelloFresh? It's America's #1 meal kit, and they give me over 50 recipes to choose from every week. The ingredients come pre-portioned and shipped right to my doorstep. It works for both picky eaters like me and if you're trying to stick to a specific lifestyle. HelloFresh has something for everybody. They offer options like fit and wholesome, quick and easy, or vegetarian, whatever fits my mood that week. HelloFresh helps me eat healthier and keeps my reputation as the go-to chef at home. I'm bringing variety to the dinner table without the hassle. No more endless recipe searches or wasting money on big jars of spices that I only need to use a pinch of. With their step-by-step recipe cards, cooking's a breeze. Right now, you can get 10 free meals by heading over to HelloFresh. The 10 free meals are applied across 7 boxes. It's for new subscribers only, and plan restrictions do apply. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by visiting HelloFresh.com/freeFT. All right. So, some chat in the chat, not to be redundant, from the Department of Redundancy Department, about Jazz Chisholm, about his tough postseason. He had another tough night. He's played defense pretty well, in my opinion. But what did he do tonight? He was 0 for something. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts, hitting 129 in the postseason. And what bothers me is that he was a guy who was talking all sorts of smack, right? If you're going to talk the talk, especially in New York, you got to walk that walk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely isn't a great optic right now, especially with a lot of like the stuff he was saying. And then, we basically already won the World Series. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I totally believe in manifesting. I totally believe in like speaking into existence. But you got to be a little bit more of like, if you're going to say it publicly, you better play well. And if you don't say it publicly, then fine. Say it within the clubhouse, within closed doors. You can believe that. I love that. Love the confidence. But if you're going to say it to the media like that, yeah, you better show me something. And he hasn't shown me anything so far offensively. And I'm the first guy that said I love Jazz and I wanted him here. So that's an L take, I guess, for me in the postseason so far.
Well, he did have a good bunt tonight. We got to give him credit on that. Paris Scrubs mentions the sacrifice bunt to move a couple of runners over into scoring position. So that was big. But they didn't bring him here to bunt. They brought him here to get on base, to disrupt the pitcher, to steal bases, to score runs, to drop some occasional power. So far, all we've seen this postseason, he had a meaningless home run against the Royals in Game 2 of the Division Series. And then he hit that shot off the wall in left field and then immediately got picked off at second base the other night. So I just want to see a little bit more production. I like the guy. I think he's a great Yankee during the regular season, but he clearly seems like he's pressing. He's a little bit overmatched by the big lights, the bright lights.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think it's just a little bit of an adjustment. I think it's more he's just like in a mechanical slump, honestly. I think he just needs, and also when you're facing postseason pitching, it's just a different game too. You're pitching, you're facing like the top of the line guys every night, guys throwing 98, 99 coming out of the bullpen. So I think it's kind of only a matter of time. I don't think other than him getting picked off, I don't think he's really cost us. but I'm not going to single him out for getting picked off because I think that MLB Network did the digging on this. We are statistically the worst base running team in baseball this season. Like, we are just not a good base running team. So that's not really an excuse, but it's not just him. It's the whole team.
The base running has been just atrocious this offseason. I'm wearing the sound effect out like the Yankee bullpen.
That's what they do. Run the bases like drunks.
But we got some people in the chat saying you look like a young Mike Piazza, and now I can't unsee it.
I wanted to shout out Dante because he's really just been copy and pasting the same message. That's very kind of you to say. I don't think I've ever gotten Mike Piazza before. I've gotten some other people, usually other like actors or celebrities and stuff like that, but I've never gotten Mike Piazza. So it's cool that I got a baseball one, so that's nice.
Well, so I'm not going to be able to sleep anyway. We're 30 minutes in. This is normally the time where we would wrap up the podcast, but I figure we could just stick around, take some questions and some comments from the audience if you got nowhere to be, if you're not due on a movie set or something here in the next, or, did Mike Piazza ever, I feel like he did commercials for something. Was it?
Well, he was on Seinfeld.
He was on Seinfeld.
Yeah, he was. I think it's got to be the hair, right, that I've grown it out.
You got the party in the back, or business in the front, party in the back. Is that what we're doing here?
I've never really had long hair like this. I was just like trying something new. I was like, why not? And I was like, I worked really hard on growing this out. I didn't want to cut it off yet. But if I got in some like movie or show and they're like, you have to shave your head, I would do it Derek style. I'd do it myself.
So we need one more win to get to the World Series here. Looks like the Dodgers are probably, let's be honest, Dodgers probably going to beat the Mets. They're up 3-2 in the series. Mets thumped them today, but it's going back to LA. I feel like a lot of times when a team is up 3-1, and you might see this happen with the Yankees tomorrow, they kind of let their foot off the gas a little bit, knowing they got 2 games at home and they just need to win one of them. It's kind of taking their chances just to win at home a little bit, maybe not going all out in Game 5. I want the Yankees to put their foot on the Guardians' throats tomorrow. I want them to completely just come out and kick that ass tomorrow. I don't care if it's 15-1 in the second inning. I want a stress-free night.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I don't give a shit. Win. Like, I don't want to hear any of this. No, we can win at home. You want to, like, look, I guess winning the World Series at home. If this was the World Series and, like, let's say that we were playing the Dodgers right now and we were up 3-1 and you had Game 6 and 7 at home, I feel like it'd be a little different because you're winning a championship at home. You still obviously want to win every game that you can, but like to go to the World Series,
but you don't lose sleep. You don't lose sleep over losing the 5th game when you're up 3-1 and you're going home. You don't lose sleep over that.
No, you definitely don't. You just regroup and win the next game, right? But then, like, all of a sudden, you lose Game 6 and it's Game 7, and you're like, oh God, exactly. Yeah. Like, things can change very quickly. So definitely put your foot on their throat, win this game. Also, is it just me, but the Mets-Dodgers series, like, it's one team kicking the ass of the other team every game.
Every night. It's crazy.
Every night. It's not like these nail-biters like we've had over here in the American League. It's nuts.
We got a great comment here from the People's Champion. Feet up asses tomorrow. I love it. I love it. That reminds me of my Rock impression. Can I do my Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Don't make me take this chair, turn it counterclockwise, and stick it straight up your candy ass. Because I'm The Rock. It's not that great, but I saw him at an airport one time getting on a private plane. They were like, Dwayne Johnson, your plane is ready. And I'm like, I wonder if that's the same Dwayne Johnson. And then I look and I see this big burly guy walking through with the big tattoos. And I'm like, that is Dwayne Johnson. That's easier to, I'm surprised they make planes that can carry something that heavy. Yeah. But, all right. So Yankees got a chance to go to the World Series tomorrow. I'll be back with a voicemail show in the morning. Call in 718-899-1068, and we'll be back again, obviously, after the game tomorrow with the postgame, hopefully a pennant-winning edition of Pinstripe Territory. We will see you tomorrow. Again, call in, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow Foul Territory, all of Foul Territory Network shows. Again, thanks for the record tonight. Over 2,000 people tuned in live. Word to John Carlos Stanton. Word to Tommy Canley. Word to Juan Soto. Word to your mother. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community, have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.